you. Thank you very much. Take a seat. G'day everybody, how are you? Before I start anything, I want to first of all thank you for the opportunity here to be a part of the Summer Conference 2006. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Vujicic. I'm 23 years old, and today I want to share with you 3 main keys in my life that got me from a life without limbs to a life without limits. For those of you who do not know my story, I was born without arms and legs. There was no medical reason why this had happened. Today I just want to be real with you. I'm going to be in your face at times, and I'm not going to apologize for it, so buckle up. But before I do get into anything, I always love to share some funny experiences that I've had in my life. I love kids' reactions. Kids' reactions are fantastic. Like, I go to the shops, and everybody just stares at me and stuff. You saw me in my wheelchair there on the DVD last night, and all the kids coming up and saying, "What happened?" And I go up and say, "Cigarettes." And stay away from those cigarettes. Anyway, I have a lot of funny stories, but I love to do quite a few hobbies of mine. Like, I jump in the pool and I actually float like a life jacket, as you've seen on the screen. I bob up and down like this, and then have my little motor down here and go brrr, like this. When I go to like public pools and stuff, all you see is this head flowing across the water like this. And kids freak out. But I went to South Africa on our tour in 2005 in February, and went to a water theme park, and for the first time I went down a water slide all by myself. I was very proud of myself. And obviously at the bottom of the slide there's a pool with people just chilling, just relaxing, chillaxing, you know what I'm saying? They're minding their own business, watching others come down the slide, and here I come, they're all looking at me, and I was so tempted to look at myself and go, "What happened?" Pretty cool. But look, the funniest story I can tell you is when I'm in a car. Obviously you have no idea that I have no arms, no legs. You just see my beautiful, sexy face. And we're at the red lights, and this car pulls up next to us. This girl's looking at me. And I'm thinking, okay, let's have some fun here. So I look at her, and I get her attention, eye contact, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I actually get my seatbelt in my mouth, loosen the seatbelt, and in the car seat, just do this. You should have seen her face. She was like, "You're freaking me out, man. Green light, quick." Alright, one more trick before we get into my story. I have a phone up here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to flick up my phone onto my shoulder. Now, this does not happen the first time, but what happens when you fail? Very good. What happens when you fail? Very good. Can someone give me a sound for a ringing phone, please? Very good. Very good. Thank you. Here we go. I'm coming! Hey. Is that cool? Beautiful. I want you to write down 3 things for me, please. I want you to, first of all, write down the word perspective. Perspective. And the word after that, I want you to write, underneath it, vision. And then underneath that, I want you to put choices. So perspective, vision, and choices. This is what I'm going to be speaking about. I'm going to be real with you and start from the beginning. I was born in a blessed country. I was born to parents with the support I needed. You see, when I was born, it was such a tragedy. It was such a great shock to everybody. We had ultrasounds done when Mum was pregnant with me. I was her firstborn. And my mum made sure that we had the best doctors in Melbourne. My mum was a nurse and delivered hundreds of babies before I was born. She knew exactly what to do and what not to do in her first pregnancy. Yet, having all these precautions, this happened. And anybody who saw me and saw my parents automatically thought that, hey, this is a bad thing. And I mean, for anyone to say that would be a good thing, that is not sane. That would be insane to say that, hey, congratulations, your baby's born without arms and legs. It was such just a pause in their life where they couldn't breathe. They couldn't fathom. What kind of life is their firstborn son going to live? Without arms and legs, he can't even feed himself. He can't even dress himself. Doctor said I would never be able to stand up, let alone jump around. You know, I'm so thankful that they knew nothing until I was born. Because imagine if my parents did know, and they would have what? The option of abortion. And the majority of the doctors, I believe, would encourage such an act. Why? Because what we see in this child's life is not going to be a good quality lifestyle for you and your child. And the wisest thing you could do is abort. Well, hey, who knew? Who knew that I would become a 23-year-old professional motivational speaker, speaking to 1 million people all around the world, starting schools in third world countries, building hospitals in the future and orphanages and all that stuff. We sponsor 43 kids who don't have food, fresh water and all that sort of stuff. And that's just the beginning. I'm a real estate investor. I'm a stock market investor. I love options trading. That's becoming one of my professions. I love real estate investing. I love the fact that we can make money doing real estate developing. Make our money, make more money. I love that fact. I love the fact, though, above all, that I can give the world something that others cannot. But before I tell you all that good stuff, let me tell you the more down times in my life. Obviously, it was difficult for my parents, but it was also difficult for me. When I went to school, a lot of kids teased me. A lot of kids put me down. It was very difficult at starters to find friends, because everybody would look at me and think, well, maybe he also has a mental disability, and then people don't know how to approach me. But my parents encouraged me to just speak with people. And as I speak, a lot of people would say, well, hey, he's just like everybody else, just with a few parts missing. You know, I'm just like you. I've just gone out on the limb a couple more times than you have for my friends. But it's all good. But it was very difficult at times, and I had no one to tell me that everything's going to be okay the way I wanted it said. Because the way I wanted it said was, I wanted to be able to believe someone when they said, Nick, it's okay. Everything's going to be okay. The problem is, if anyone did say that, even my parents at times, I would say, how do you know? How do you know how it feels to be in my position? You don't even know the future. How can you say that I'm going to have a good life? You cannot. Last January, within 3 weeks, 3 of my family members died. January 2005, my uncle, my grandfather, and one of my cousins. The day after my grandfather was buried, my uncle, 53-year-old man, had a heart attack, died. 5 days before he died, he was at the doctor's and everything was fine. What can you tell me to encourage me? Can you tell me anything? Only if you've been through it. And this is what I'm here about. I want to tell you, I was depressed. I had suicidal thoughts at the age of 8. I had this massive list of all the things that I couldn't do and I'll never have in life. I never thought, you know, I'll get married. Who'd want a husband without arms and legs? And I thought, even if I ever did get married, I'm not going to be even able to hold my wife's hand. I'm not going to be able to dance with my bride on our wedding night. I used to hate going to public parks and seeing fathers throwing up their kids in the air and sometimes dropping them. You know, I won't have that intimacy with my sons and my daughters. And I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. And no one had any answers. And I thought I was the only one in such a predicament. What happened? What changed? The first thing I got you to write down was perspective. How you see your life is the first key. Who are you? And where are you in life? This is the first question I want to ask you. Even though the world can look at me, they can say, well, a guy having no arms and no legs, his potential is not unlimited, but limited. His potential, just because he has no arms and no legs, humanly speaking, in our logic, he's not going to be as successful as everybody else. Really? Why? Because of his disability. Really? What is a disability? Have you ever thought of that? A disability. I'll tell you what a disability is. Something that would hinder you to achieve something. Now, just because I have no arms and no legs, it doesn't mean that I can't be successful. It doesn't mean that I can't do a business degree like I've done, a Bachelor of Commerce in Financial Planning and Accounting. That didn't stop me. Then what really stops you? Your mind. The way you see your life and where you are going will determine how successful you will be in life. I could say, yeah, I'm a guy without arms and legs, but what? I have my little chicken drumstick. Don't ask yourself and see what you don't have, see what you do have, and then say, okay, this is where I am. But don't limit yourself to say, well, if only I had this, or if only I had that. You can think of all the things that you don't have, but I want to ask you, is that really constructive? No. Why? Because no one can turn back time. It's up to you with what you do with today. Your priorities, your daily agenda will determine how successful you are. You want to know something? I started to be thankful. Thankful? Why, Nick? How could you be thankful? My mum showed me a newspaper article of a young man who had a disability, not similar to mine, but it was also unexplained medically. And I thought, you know what? I'm not the only one with something to bear. But I'm telling you, this perspective is everything. Giving yourself enough credit. Write this down. Give yourself credit. Even if the whole world told me that, Nick, you have no arms and no legs, you're not good enough, you're not going to reach your fullest potential, and even if you do, it's not going to be compared to anybody else's potential because you have no arms and no legs. Even if the whole world has that discouragement on you or their view on you, you don't have to believe them. You get it? You don't have to believe others' opinions. Because it's just an opinion. If a doctor comes to you and says, hey, I'm sorry, you've got cancer. What are you going to do? Get a second opinion. Right? Why? Because you want to make sure that he's right. You want to know exactly how much you have to live and what's going on. Well, why not get a second opinion when people put you down? Why not get a second opinion when your family thinks you're dreaming? Tell him he's dreaming. I wouldn't change anything about this. I don't see this as a disability. I see it as a gift. Do you want to know why? It gives me the greatest joy to know that I may not have arms and legs, but I can give teenagers who are trying to commit suicide. I've seen it, slashing their wrists, taking pills, ODing, everything, because the world is looking for hope. And I wouldn't change a thing because I can give them that. This is just the beginning. I'm only 23. I'm only 23. First thing, be thankful. Know where you are. Now, when you establish where you are in life and who you are in life, and you give yourself a little bit of credit, do you know how I gave myself credit when I was 7 years old? Check this out. I just remembered this last week. Some people at school were teasing me for how I looked. I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, yep, I don't have arms and legs. They're right. But I said, look at my eyes. I told myself, look at your eyes. You got beautiful eyes, young man. I said, you are hot. I said, no one can take that away from you. Your eyes. If it's only your eyes that you can concentrate on, then concentrate on that. Do you get the message? If you find one positive thing about your life that no one can argue with, then hang on to that and go from there. Now, where are we going? Once you establish where you are and hang on to the positive things, the assets that you have, then expand on that. Stop thinking of what missed opportunities are out there. Because then you'll miss more. Where are you going? Vision. Vision. What is your vision? Everybody here today has come to the conference so that you might be better equipped to live your life to its fullest potential. In some way or another. Finances. Sure. Great. Wonderful. I have a business mind. I love trading options. You have no idea. It's one of my hobbies, but it's actually becoming a steady income for me. And I love it. And wherever your goal is, let it be. But let me tell you something scary about your fullest potential. The day you believe you reached your fullest potential is the day you haven't. Write that down. The day you believe you've reached your fullest potential is the day you have not. Because you still have today. You and I know that we can make choices to either better our life or put our life in a worse position. Where are you going? Is it big? Zig Ziglar says, aim your goals and dreams to the heavens, so if they miss, they're still up there with the stars. I'm dreaming big. You have visions. You have goals. I want to tell you something very exciting. I can tell you right now, I'm actually going on Oprah Winfrey's show. How awesome is that? She just doesn't know about it yet. Why not? The only limits I have in my life are the limits I put on me. Or on myself. I want to live a life with no limits. Visions beyond comprehension. Another vision I'll share with you. I'm going to be starring in a big screen cinema movie. It's going to inspire millions around the globe. No, we haven't started. No, we don't have cameramen. No, we don't have a script. But it's coming. Not in my time, but it's coming. I want it now, but it's coming. You want the diamond now, but it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. If you keep on going forward. It's simple. Really simple, right? See this phone? If I want to get to the phone's not going to move. The diamond's not going to come to you. You've got to go to the diamond. I'm going to go to the phone. It's going to come as long as I keep on moving forward in baby steps. It's not like I'm going to, start meditating and going hum and start floating, right? And then go across. No, I've got to go one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. Vision. Reaching your fullest potential. That's what I want. Isn't that what you want? Yes. Yes. But how lazy are we? How lazy are we? I'll tell you, I've got the biggest vision. I'm writing a book called No Arms, No Legs, No Worries. I love that title. But the thing is, the book's not going to be written until I write it. Does that make sense? I have to write it. But not yet. Write this down. Do not put off the things that you can do today. Stop procrastinating. But with that, we're all guilty of that. If you're not guilty of that, you're special. Because I believe I'm guilty of it, and a lot of people are. I'm a procrastinator. But if that's what you value so much, you will automatically have that motivation. Well, I had that motivation, Nick. Nick, you wanted to write your book at age 19. I can tell you, yes, I did. 4 years have passed. I did 4 chapters. And then I read it, I'm like, that's crap. Let's start again. I've got nothing now. But you know what I realized? Imagine if my book was written when I was 19. How much have I changed in the last 4 years? How much more do I know? How many more experiences will I be able to share with the world when we sell millions of copies of No Arms, No Legs and No Worries? There's a perfect time for everything. Not now, but it's coming. Perspective, vision, and choice.